Hi, everybody. Welcome to our first live Standing in Truth. I would like to welcome Ciji Perkins. She's my guest tonight. She's going to tell us her story of her awakening. I would like to just say good morning, good afternoon, good night, wherever you are. Um, Thank you for joining us. Uh, Standing in Truth is about that exactly, standing here in our truth. It's about unconditional love for everyone and everything. Um, and in saying that, it's about being spiritual, being one with yourself. Um, and so the first thing I guess there is to say is that my name is Gary Tuttle. Um, I have been on this path now for actually quite a while. Now that I think about it, basically my entire life I've been sensitive, and I didn't know for a long time. I didn't know what it was to be sensitive. And once I learned what it was, it just opened my eyes to everything. Like, wow, wide open. So I'm here to stand in the truth of who I am, and what that means to me is I'm going to just continue to be me, the best version of me that I can be every now that we have. And I know that there's a lot of fear out there right now with all the stuff that's going on in the world, and it seems crazy and hectic and everything. But I just want to encourage everyone right now to simply stand in your truth. You're healthy, and if you're healthy, you don't really have nothing to worry about. Just don't be afraid of it. There's a lot of fear mongering going on right now. And by fear mongering, I mean the media and YouTube, and I mean everywhere you look, somebody's trying to scare the crap out of you. Don't be afraid of it. Literally, don't be afraid. There's absolutely nothing to fear. The flu has killed more people already this year than the virus has. So just just be aware. They want you to be afraid. So stand in your truth. There's nothing to be afraid of. If you're afraid to die, you're probably going to die. I mean, none of us are getting out of here alive. So, let's just do the best that we can to be true to ourselves and who we really are. And for me, that means doing this live. And I realize it's not going to be live. It's recorded, and I'm going to have to post it to YouTube. I had some technical difficulties. Mercury in retrograde right now is just slammed down right upon me as I tried to do this video live. So, Ciji, welcome, and thank you for joining me tonight.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Gary. I wanted to when you asked me to share about myself in regards to my spiritual path, I was kind of like, okay, you know what I mean? So the spirit universe, whatever you want to say it, has really been pushing me recently to stand in my truth and to align with who I really am. And I'm kind of hesitant about that. Not that I'm scared to do it, but it is scary to do that, you
Sure.
know? Yeah. So when you had messaged me about that earlier, I was like, yep, I just have to do it. Um, I always, even as like a little girl, I'm definitely what you would say like the black sheep in the family. So um, life has always been just kind of like an odd experience for me. And it hasn't really been until like recently when I started to align and get into my flow that things have like really changed. And I just remember I was like a little girl, just like knowing things, you know, and sensing things. And I really didn't know what that was about. And I think when I started to really kind of connect with my spirituality, it was first with my divorce. I can't remember how long that was probably 9 years ago, 8 years ago, I can't remember really right now off the top of my head, but I remember it was a really tough time for me, and that was kind of just when, like, Facebook, well, at least I was getting bigger into Facebook, and I stumbled across this page, and it was so funny because, like, every time I was struggling, I would see a post that was directly connected to what I was dealing with, struggling with. So I'm like, "Okay." And I always struggled because, like, in our society, for the most part, like, religion is a big thing, like standard organized religion. And I would go to them, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I just didn't feel connected. Like, and it's kind of funny because I consider my spirituality like a little bit of this and a little bit of that. That's how those are my beliefs. But I never really connected with that. Sometimes people go to those things and they're like, oh, yes, this is amazing. Um, that wasn't for me. And it wasn't until I actually kind of came across, again, I was going through another hard time, and I ended up joining this meetup group. And it was more about like-minded individuals like myself. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is really what I'm supposed to be doing. So once I started learning more about kind of just being more true to myself, like what all of these things that I'm feeling, what it all means, like life opened up. It's like I felt like a total different person because I'm like around like-minded individuals that get what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Um, so I kind of feel like I've always been like a loner, you know? Not that if you were to talk to me and stuff like that, I'm actually pretty outgoing, but um, I prefer, I'm kind of like an extroverted introvert. So just because of all the energy and stuff like that, I do need my alone time. And I'm trying to practice that more for myself. Um, but it's absolutely amazing. It's kind of like I'm reborn type of thing.
Absolutely.
And it's funny because I've really been trying to connect more with it. Probably, I would say the past year, but honestly, like since October, I had a really difficult time. It was probably one of those like super dark times in your life when you're like, oh my gosh, how did I even get through that? You know? And after that, I made this promise to myself that I was like, you know what, you need to do what's best for you and you need to get your shit together. So once I started listening and like opening up to the magic, it's amazing what they like how your life can absolutely change. So I came across like this concept of like staying in the flow. So for me, what that means like is that, or what that would look like is that doing more things that align with your higher self, what makes you feel better, right? Like it's okay to say no to things that you do not want to do or be around people that you do not want to be around because we have to do that for ourselves. If we do not and we continue to allow those things to happen, it's a form of self-sabotage.
Yes.
So I've had to really figure out who I really am and what it is that's important to me. But you brought up the whole fear base, and it's funny because I was thinking about that earlier that, you know, we assign a feeling or a thought to every single to our experience,
Yeah.
right? So, um, I don't know if you know too much about Bashar, but I've been listening to some of his information and stuff like that. And what he says is that it's all a choice. Like everything that we're experiencing right now is literally a choice. How we feel it, how we experience it. And I've been really trying to, and this has really helped with just, learning to live life, is that emotionally disconnect. So it's not that you're not tying an emotion and stuff to it, but for me, it's like, okay, I'm looking at it kind of like from like an arm's length, if that makes sense. And trying my hardest not tie emotions to things because it's just an experience.
Yeah. No, that's a great point that you brought up there. So for me, um, this is scary fear. Yeah, like going on, posting myself, putting myself out there like this is not like you said. I'm an extroverted introvert. Like I love to talk to people, but at the same time,
Yeah.
I just, to put myself out here like this, it's a huge deal for me. And I truly appreciate that you joined me and that you kind of faced your fears and were able to kind of step up with me tonight because it truly does mean a lot to share experiences with like-minded people for one, but also to know that as we're doing this, more doors are opening for us, and not only for us, but also for the collective. We're standing directly here in our truths and telling others about our truth, and that truly aligns with our higher selves. Like I've been avoiding this
Right.
for like 6 months. Like I've known for 6 months that I was supposed to do this, avoiding it. I've been doing everything but going
Yeah.
live and standing here doing what I know that I should be doing. And I finally just said, I finally just got fed up with some stuff, and I said, you know what, it's really truly time for me to do this. And, I would like to uh, I would like to express that even though we're having technical difficulties and we didn't get to go live on YouTube, um, I'm going to post this video. I'm going to allow others to comment, and um, I'm going to make sure tomorrow throughout the entire day that I have everything set up for the next time I do go live. Um, I was under the impression I had it all set up, but then tech stuff happens, and you just got to kind of go with the flow. And so I appreciate that you brought up the flow.
Right.
I've been writing a blog now that is named Flow. It's an acronym for Feel Love Over Worry, and I try to post every day. I don't always remember to post every day. I life happens, you get busy, but consecutively now for I believe almost 100 days I've posted. I may have missed a day here or there, but it's really opened my eyes to the truth of who I am. Just being able to express myself in an artistic way through my writing has enabled me to further the foundation that I stand on and the truth of where I'm at. We all have work to do. We all have to go within, spend time with ourselves and meditation and truly go within. And, when we're feeling hurt, when we're feeling sad or alone, we have to really go within and find out where does this stem from? Because a lot of times it has nothing to do with the current situation. Most of the time it's something to do with our past, and we're relating to something from the past. And if we're living in the past and thinking about the past and all the things that have happened to us all the time, it makes it really hard to live in the now and be present, to truly enjoy what we have right now and be thankful and grateful for everything that we have in our lives. I, I I've come to the conclusion that I'm so abundant. When I look around, I'm like, it blows my mind how much abundance we truly have in our lives. Like we're truly very blessed to be in this time where we are right now. Even with all the fear mongering and all the stuff that's going on with, this coronavirus and, all the stuff that's going on with it, like it's just, I laugh because it's like they, they, whoever they, they want us to be afraid, and for like 2 years now, I don't even have TV. I don't participate in that. I'm not gonna. I'm done paying for commercials. Like I'm not going to pay $80 a month to any company just to fill my head full of crap and ads. And like, I don't need that. Like, I get like my content that I give myself is free. I don't have to pay for anything. Like, I can just go within and be comfortable where I'm at and realize that, you know, as I'm doing this, I'm not only healing my past, but I'm healing my ancestral past at the same time. I don't have to carry all that nonsense around with me any longer. And it's really
Yeah.
a place to be when you can um, stand right in the face of fear and laugh because you know that like you're just untouchable. You know what I'm saying? Like uh, truly untouchable. Like it, I know you know what I'm saying. I know that there's a lot of people out there that get it. I'm trying to figure out the right words here, but when I say untouchable, what I really mean is yes, this body is going to grow old and decay and it's going to, you know, return to the earth. But the true me, the Gary Michael that I am going to continue on. Like it, like I'm not afraid of it. I'm not afraid, like, you know, it can strike me right now and I'm still going to be here, you know, and I'm going to continue to live this out every day. And it's really quite awesome to share this experience with you because when I first had the idea, I thought the first person I want to talk to was Ciji. Like I really want to hear her story. You know what I'm saying? And it's so I truly like I'm truly appreciative of you sharing. So and so that leads me to a couple questions. Now, you said you found a group with like-minded people. Um, could you not necessarily talk about the group or the people, but what you mean by like-minded? Like, what is your definition?
Okay. So, so for me, it's people that are truly non-judgmental, um, that have the same beliefs, that are light workers. And we could talk a little bit about what a light worker would be. Um, People that are not like, they just get it. So it's funny because if you're not like minded, it's difficult to describe what they just get it means. But
Right.
um so we're all, it's people, it's these beautiful, amazing souls that are here living their human, experience right now, and collectively we're here to make this world a better place. It's That's really our job here. That's what we're supposed to be doing, you know. Um, I truly believe that, like, just think how amazing this world would be if, instead of putting each other down, talking negatively, if we just like loved each other and talked positively to each other. Like, it's just that simple.
Yeah.
It literally is that simple. And people that are like-minded, they get it, you know. Um, like-minded people, though, it's kind of, I mean, for me personally, I am I used to live so fear-based, you know, and that was because of all the trauma, abuse, everything like that. My life was so fear-based for so long. Sorry, my cat might make an appearance. So, she was just moving. So, with that, it's kind of empowering when you literally stand in your truth and say, "This is me. I'm going to do what I am supposed to be doing here." Like, I do things every day, but I know deep down inside it's not what I'm really supposed to be doing, if that makes sense.
Right. We have
So
to go through
we all have
sometimes.
these, yeah, yeah. We all have these, like, literally, like, these super important jobs here living this human experience. And it's all about connecting without with that and finding out what it is like we're supposed to be doing. And that's getting in the flow. And that's like you find all of these cues. Like today, I saw angel numbers at 11:11, 1:11, 3:33, 4:44, 2:22. I'm not sure what I was doing then, but um it's those cues. That's when you know, like, okay, I know I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, you know?
Absolutely.
Um, so it's a it's so freeing though when you start standing in your truth, like you were talking about connecting with your higher self
Yeah.
and like literally stand in front of people and say, "Hey, this is me. Take it or leave it." You know, I'm here to be doing this really important job. So you can either be okay with it or not. And I'm finally at this point that I'm choosing not to people please anymore, right? Because when we please others, that is a form of self-sabotage. And if you look at it in that aspect, it's kind of like, well, that doesn't make sense, you know? So that is what we need to be doing though too. You know, if something doesn't feel right and you're doing it, you probably shouldn't be doing it. That's taking you away from connecting with your higher self and doing what we're supposed to be doing on this path of what we call living having this physical human experience.
Yeah. Well, and so that leads me to uh, the next thing that I would like to say is, so, and I love how you describe that. Like it truly is hard to describe what like-minded me. Like-minded is letting everything that is not for me just kind of fall away and walk past
Right.
step like through like on
Yep.
in a moment by moment, now by now situation, walk through that gate, right, and be right here present right now. And
Right.
there's all kinds of distractions these days. We
Yeah.
have cell phones that are constantly going off with Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, and like, I mean, there's a thousand apps that you can just connect with a thousand people. But the problem is we're not really truly connecting. I mean, this here, what we're doing, this is connecting, and not only
Right.
connecting, but we're allowing others to see who we truly are. And
Right.
that empowers people. It truly empowers people. Like, some people are like, holy cow, what is he doing? I can't believe he's doing this. And others are like, wow, that's so awesome. You're finally doing this. Like, I can't believe you're finally, you know, and
Right.
people that are like, what is he doing? Like, they're afraid, they're going to, oh no, stay away from me. Like, I'm scary. Get out of the way. Then get out of the way.
Right.
'Cause I'm coming. Like, you
Well,
know,
that's okay. And that's okay because everyone's on a different path,
yep.
you know? And that's where it comes with like I truly accept wherever people are at in their journey, their path about that. Am I up there again?
Yeah, you're good.
Sorry. Okay. Um, it's truly accepting others for where they're at, in their journey. It's okay. People don't have to agree with what I think, say, or do. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, no, me too. And so that's really to me that's true enlightenment. When you can just be
Yeah.
okay with people not being okay with who you are. They're gonna love you or they're gonna hate you, and I've
Yep.
seen people just kind of fall out of my life, and it's like, I love you and I'm gonna miss you, but at the same time, you have to do you as I continue to do me. And if if that means
Right.
losing friends, losing relationships,
Mm.
lots of strange things happen all the time. I love how you brought up the synchronicities of the numbers. I had 1, 2, 3, 4 today. Well, first I had 10, 10. I had 1, 2, 3, 4. I had 111, 333. I had 555. Like, and it was all at a time. It was all while I was preparing for this, preparing to do this today, and I was just like, it really led me to, um, like, stay motivated and not let the fear take over and come up with some kind of an excuse not to go live. Like, yeah, we're having tech issues and I'm not literally live on YouTube, but I am going to post this video. And it is going to help many,
Right.
So um, I drew 3 cards from the Dragon Oracle deck today, and every card was just like,
Awesome.
said, this is exactly what you're
Let's
supposed to be doing, and don't fear standing in your true power of enlightenment. And it blew me away. I was actually going to have my deck ready, but because of the tech issues I started facing as I was trying to set this up, I just didn't have time to pull it out and draw a card. I really wanted to draw a card and kind of show you. I know a lot of people can read tarot and can draw cards. It's really interesting for me when I shuffle. The cards pop out. They tell me what I'm doing. Like, it's not me trying to force
yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
I see a lot of people, they'll shuffle and then they'll cut the deck and then they'll just start pulling cards, and it's like, and it works. Don't get me wrong, but for me, I don't have to go through any effort. The cards literally jump out of my decks, and so far it hasn't mattered which
Right.
deck I use. I could be shuffling a deck of playing cards, and they'll just start. Oh, there's one. Oh, there's one. I'll be like, oh, okay, yeah,
Right.
I get it. So
Right.